Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David and today I'm going to be playing a game called Pulsatio Cordis? Pulsatio Cordis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is a game that was recommended to me and I've heard is pretty good. I've also been looking into this fella's eyes very dreamily. Beautiful eyes. Beautiful eyes. He looks very pleasant. Why was there a warning about very gory things in the beginning? I'm scared. What is your first name? I love all this pink. I like it. I like it very much. My name is Espoir. It means hope in French. Oh, my last name. Oh, that's a first. I am Miss David. Oh my gosh, this is lovely. It is lovely. Oh, it's so pretty. I recently moved back to the town where I spent my childhood. We've only been back for a few months. My parents ran into financial troubles, so we sold our house and moved back here. I can't say I'm complaining. The city has its own ups and downs, and to be honest, I couldn't really get along with a lot of the kids at my school. It feels so weird how everything's changed since I was gone. Many of the shops and buildings I used to visit as a kid are gone, torn down or replaced. More importantly, there's the people at my new school. I remember many of them from primary. I was even friends with some of them. Of course, you can't leave for 8 years, come back, and then expect everyone to acknowledge you like they would have back then. The excitement of a new student in our year group fizzled out quickly. Soon I went from being coddled by all the popular kids to barely even existing. Oh. So now I usually sit in a secluded corner of the school field, doing my best not to make it obvious that I'm sitting alone. Sometimes I talk to someone in class and get them to let me join their friend group, but it never lasts long. Honestly, it feels kind of demoralizing. It's not as if I'm being outright bullied, but that almost feels better than being ignored. I usually try to stay out of people's way, but when there's trouble, I can't help but want to get involved. Sure, maybe I just want the clout that some could from exposing some conspiracy to blow up the school or some secret student-led drug trafficking ring, but alas, I'm not that lucky. At one point, when I tried to defend a junior who was being harassed for the despicable crime of blocking off someone's locker, I was paid back dearly. They threatened to spread rumors about me all over the school about my opinion on moving back. People would think I was shallow and spoiled, preferring the big city to our quaint little town, that I was calling it a crap hole. It would have ruined my reputation. But someone saved my life. Oh, his name was Liev Latane? Liev? I'm gonna say Liev Latane. Latane? Liev Latane. Oh, that rolls off the tongue so nicely. Liev Latane. Okay, stop. I'm falling in love with his name. Head boy of our school. Head boy. He is the best boy. Friendly to everyone, easygoing, polite, everyone at school looks up to him, and not just because of his personality. He's also, like, the smartest guy there, and according to a lot of people, insanely attractive. Myself included. But that's besides the point. One day I approached him in the hallway. I felt nervous but desperate. The people targeting me had blackmailed me into not reaching out to any faculty for help. I didn't know what else I could do. But his kind smile helped me calm down, even if only a little bit. And so I told him about what was happening to me. All I expected was advice. I knew Liev was a busy guy. But he told me not to worry, and that he would take care of it. A few days later, I found out a further investigation was carried out. They discovered that the bullies had been smoking on school grounds, which led to them being expelled. Liev hadn't just taken care of the problem, he'd make sure that it would never spring up again. I think that must have been the day I got a crush on him. Oh. I left a letter in his locker today. It's probably going to be in vain, but best to be honest with my feelings, right? If he rejects me, oh well, I can cry about it over the weekend and then get over it. I'm used to that kind of treatment by now anyway. Huh? Oh my gosh, that font. This font. Ooh. Oh. I just noticed a little affection point up there. Neat. I turned on my phone and saw a new message from a number I didn't recognize. Hi, is this Espoir de Vide? It's Liev from school. My heart skipped at the message before I shook my head to clear it. It could be just a prank, I told myself. This was way too good to be true. I mentally debated whether or not to answer it. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me, and I typed out a cautious response. Who wants to know? Yeah. I don't want to sound rude, but how did you get my number? There were two possibilities here. Either Liev had found my attempt to confess hilarious, and he was getting his friends to prank text me, or it was really him. I found myself wanting to be optimistic that it was the latter. From what I knew of him, he seemed to be too mature for that kind of stuff anyway. His response came within seconds of mine. You gave me your number in your letter today. Haha. Yeah, I figured they wrote it down in the letter. My face flushed at the reminder of that stupid letter, of the fact that I'd given him my number on the off chance that he would actually respond. I've been alternating between severely regretting it and feeling relieved that it was off my chest, and now... Oh, right. Lol. Sorry, I was just a little worried. It's okay. I should apologize too. Random messages from people not in your contacts are always weird to get. Yeah, but it's okay. Was Liev actually using an emoticon in his text? I didn't know why, but I found that kind of cute. He'd always struck me as the proper texter type, always using correct grammar and spelling. As I sat there doing my best not to fawn over the fact that freaking Liev Latane was texting me, my phone pinged with another message. So, are you free tomorrow? What? Was he serious? Was Liev freaking Latane actually asking me out? Wait, but I asked first. That would make it him accepting my confession. Wait, what if he meant something else by that? Oh, I stopped myself before I could go on a ramble of paranoid thoughts. This was the most popular guy at school, for God's sake. The guy I'm currently crushing on. I had to take the opportunity before it disappeared. But first, still in a mild state of disbelief, I made sure to confirm that it was indeed a date. Yeah, I am. Just to check, this is a date, right? Not just a hangout? Hey, call me overly paranoid, but I wanted to know now rather than later to save the disappointment. I briefly worried that he would take a long time to respond, but mere moments later my phone pinged again. Of course it's a date, silly. Why wouldn't it be? Aww. Aww. I can't believe it. I'm going on a date with Liev Latane. Oh my God! Wow! This is the greatest day of my life! Oh, nothing will compare to this! The next day. Ooh. I'm finally here, after a 10-minute walk from the station. I cross the road until I'm in front of a big gate with an archway. Liev and I decided on going to the amusement park for our date, an hour's train right away. Our date. No matter how many times I repeat those two words to myself, I still can't quite believe that they're true. That this was really happening. I'd thought that the train ride would give me time to get myself together, but somehow it only made things worse. It only made me think of more ways this date could go wrong, and my family's teasing remarks before I left the house didn't help either. What if I accidentally spill something on him while we're having lunch? What if... You get the idea. As of now, I have a lot of second thoughts about this. My feet move my body as if on autopilot. I walk through the entrance, scanning the area for Liev. Speaking of Liev, I finally got around to actually adding him to my contacts, under his actual name rather than unknown. He'd sent me a cute text this morning, and I'm a little ashamed to admit that I read it over and over again on the train. Aww. Good morning. I'm very excited for our date. See you soon. Aww. What could possibly go wrong? This is so lovely and wholesome. Taking a deep breath, I do my best to calm the racing beat of my heart. I can't have him seeing me panic over a date like a love-struck schoolgirl. Aww. I look around doing my best not to make it obvious that I'm looking for someone, searching for a hand waving me over, listening for a voice calling my name, something. If he ditches me, I will be so heartbroken that I will find him, and I will stone cold Steve Austin stunner that man if he ditches me. Don't ruin this for the MC, Liev. Please don't go down that path. It dawns on me that I have no idea what he looks like outside of a school setting. I consider sending him a text to ask where he is. Yes, do that. Do that. I turn on my phone, seeing a new message from him. Hey, I can see you. Look beside the leftmost ticket booth. I look towards the spot he pointed out and see someone waving at me. I walk over. I do my best not to think about my still racing heart. As I get closer, relief washes over me briefly at the realization that the person in front of me was, indeed, the person I'd expected to see. But then the relief is replaced by a crushing nervousness. There he is. Oh, Liev Latane, the most popular guy at school. And my date with him has officially begun. Oh. Hey, Espoir, what's up? I'm not gonna survive this. Oh, you can do it, Espoir. I believe in you. What do I say? Don't leave it up to me. I'm good. How are you? How dare you? That was scary. Oh, geez. No, not QuickTime events. I'm good. How are you? Great, now I gotta be on my toes. I'm great, now that you're here. The pounding in my chest relaxes a bit. It's nice to know that he seemed just as excited to see me as I am him. So, how was your trip? Did you take the train? Yeah, it was good. If I could drive, I would have driven, but oh well. What about you? Do you drive? Yeah, I got my full recently. Darn, already? I don't even have my restricted yet. Oh, full license. Oh, good for you. You know, I can drive you home if you want. That way you won't have to pay for the fare back. Eh? Just like that? He's offering to drive me home? Oh. I'm tempted to take the offer, but imagining being in his car with him, just the two of us for at least half an hour. Too much. Aw. Besides, it's too early to say whether or not he'll want to go through with that by the end of the day. If I'm really unlucky, he might even just ditch mid-date. He better not! Christ, the mere thought of that is bringing sweat to my palms. Oh, the MC is so nervous. Part of me knows that it's irrational to be so cautious, that I need to consider every possible thing that could go wrong. But I can't help it. It's not every day the head boy of your school agrees to go on a date with you. Subconsciously, I rub my palm against my leg. Are you okay? Yeah, just a little nervous. This is the first time I've ever been on a date. Don't worry about it. It's mine too. It's a little surprising to hear that from someone so idolized by the school, even though I already knew about the rumors. Though I'm curious to know more about why he'd picked me of all people, I decide that that's a matter best left for later. We're still technically standing outside the amusement park. By now we must look a little silly, loitering about. So I point to the ticket booth, gesturing for him to follow. Come on, the park's a-waitin'. I think about taking his hand, but the very idea almost makes me combust. Aww. Instead, we walk together to the ticket booth. I pull out my wallet, intending on paying for mine myself, but Liev stops me, shielding my hand with his credit card. Huh? You don't need to do that. I can get my own ticket. But Liev shakes his head. Nah, it's okay. You did ask me out, so it's only fair. I'm about to argue his logic, but he smiles reassuringly at me, as if to say that it's no big deal. Sensing that he's not going to budge, I shrug and tuck my wallet safely back into my bag. Part of me feels relief that I'm going to be saving money today. The clerk hands us our tickets. Sweet. You have a good date, you two. We will, thank you. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Oh, honey. It's okay. Wait. Oh, I guess I can count that as a win. I saw the head boy blush. Oh. Ooh, pretty. The garden is gorgeous. Rose bushes line the pebbled pathway, and archways made of greenery and flowers greet us as we stroll past. Oh, this is so romantic. I'm feeling better and calmer than earlier. The sight of the pretty flowers also helps. Liev and I haven't really been talking, and honestly, I'm fine with that for the moment. Sometimes it's just nice to take in your surroundings quietly. Inevitably, someone does speak, and it's Liev. Are you feeling better? Yeah. Sorry, I just get like this sometimes. It's all right. You have nothing to apologize for. His words are nice to hear. I let my shoulders relax as I smile. Thank you. I let my gaze drift to the rose bushes, unsure of what else to say. It's quiet for a little longer. I worry that it's starting to become awkward for him. Thankfully, he's the one to start up conversation again. This music is lovely. So, how's school been going? I suppressed the urge to snort. Oh, please. We've finally reached the weekend and you want to talk about school? Well, it's kind of my job, isn't it? To represent the school? Well, yeah, but you're off duty. It's the weekend. Surely there are better things we can talk about. Fine, you're off the hook. For now. Scary, the big bad head boy is abusing his privileges on a poor defenseless student. Hey, you've had your fun. No need to rub salt in the wound. We share a laugh at that little jest. It feels good, sharing such a light moment with someone I'd seen as so intimidating before. Ah, that was really nice, Espoir. I haven't laughed like that in a while. Why? Is the great Liev Latane too high and mighty for even a little chuckle? I'd meant for my comment to be a light teasing jab, but the sudden frown on his face makes my mouth clamp shut. I rub my forearms subconsciously. Crap. I'm sorry. Did I go too far? No, it's not that. You're right. I've been way too high-strung over the past few weeks, trying to manage everything going on. My heart sinks to my stomach. I should have known better than to insult him so casually, even if I only meant it as a joke. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. I know. It's okay. Can we sit down for a minute? My head is killing me. Sure. We head over to the nearest bench. Oh, he's so pretty. He's so pretty. Liev sits down and I follow, sitting a little way from him to give him space. He glances at me with a strangely disappointed look, but says nothing. We sit in silence together for a few minutes. I want to say something, but I worry that he's not in the mood for a chat. Yet I can't help but be even more worried about what he could be going through. What if holding it in was the reason for him feeling so down? I knew more than anything about how that felt. So I take the plunge and ask him the question. Liev, do you want to talk about it? He glances at me, looking surprised. He doesn't answer right away, probably trying to gather his words. It occurs to me that he probably doesn't get to do that often. Being head student required that you always looked and acted your best. Someone who was too open and complained about their problems a lot wouldn't exactly give the school a good look. I think I'm a little stressed. A little? He sighs, defeated. Okay, maybe a lot. Of course he was under a lot of stress. Aside from being head boy, he was the leader of 2 clubs and a UN youth rep. If I were in his position, I wouldn't even be able to function under the crushing pressure. I think of what to say in response, something to help ease his burden. I'm here to listen if you want to tell me about it. It's not a guarantee that I can help, and I feel bad about it, but I also have no idea what it's like to be in a position of leadership, let alone several. I can only hope that by listening, he'll be able to unload any worries plaguing his mind. It's just... a lot is going on right now, especially since we're heading towards the end of the year. I have so much to do, so much to think about. We have an athletics tournament coming up soon, and I've pretty much been in charge of training since the co-leader has been slacking off. There's a competition coming up for the debate team too, and we've all been training extra hard so that we can take the cup home again this year. And next weekend I have a meeting for UN Youth, so I'll have to get up early and drive a few hours to get to the venue. Geez, all that onto a student? All on top of studying for external exams and applying for scholarships. Ugh. I am so glad that I'm not in school anymore. Oh, there's just too much that is put on students sometimes, honestly. It almost feels like too much. Sometimes I just want to curl up in bed and stop coming to school. I knew he was stressed, but until now I had no idea just how stressed. God, my trouble seems so minuscule compared to his. His schedule must be crazy packed, and he must have foregone at least a few commitments to be able to make it today. I'm really sorry that you have to go through that. Have you been able to talk to anyone else about it? Friends? Family? He must at least have some support system he can count on to be able to handle so much stress. To my surprise, Liev shakes his head. The people in the student council have their own things to worry about, and I'm not really close with anyone in my extended family. Huh? What about your parents? They haven't been much help. This is kind of the bare minimum they expect from me. So in other words, Liev has tiger parents that encourage his overachieving behavior. How wonderful. That's a little screwed up. I get that they're your parents, and they only want to see you succeed, but can't they do anything to help? Maybe let you see a therapist? With Liev's parents apparently being a renowned psychiatrist and a lawyer, I was sure that they had to be rolling in dough. A therapist should be a small price to pay for the sake of their son's mental health. It's not that simple. Huh? My parents are both workaholics. They never really have any time to spend with me, especially recently, since they both went away on business. Okay, the situation was a little more complicated than I thought. I knew that therapy wasn't the be-all, end-all solution to things, but from the stories I read online, it was a step in the right direction. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to assume. No, it's okay. It's not exactly a situation with a single, concrete solution. Still, you shouldn't have to shoulder all of that by yourself. It's not healthy. Real rich coming from the girl who's hiding her anxiety issues from her parents. But this isn't about me. It's about Liev and his problems. I'll tell you what. If nothing else, I'm here for you. You can talk to me about whatever's bothering you. It's a good thing we have each other's numbers now, huh? Normally, I'd be a little apprehensive to say that to someone I barely knew, but Liev had been so kind, accommodating my tendency to overthink things and reassuring that I had nothing to be sorry for. I wanted to repay him in some way, even if I wouldn't always know what to do. I wanted him to know that I would always be willing to lend a listening ear. Thank you, Espoir. You're the first person to say that to me. Eh? Really? Haven't any of your friends ever said that they'll be there for you? Yeah, but you're the first person to actually try to discuss my problems. The people on the student council usually go for the toxic positivity route, saying that I just need to cheer up and stuff, that life only gets tougher as we get older. Well, man, maybe we need to get some new friends. Ah, yes, I'll just calm down. Thanks so much, my anxiety is now cured. Sorry, I was getting a little real there because the same thing's been said to me. Anxiety is a very serious thing that needs very serious solutions. Liev cracks up, laughing at my joke. I find myself joining him, the sound of his laughter contagious. I'm glad I managed to make him smile like that. It looks different, more genuine than the polite ones he'd gives people at school. Oh, no, I'm falling in love again. This is a very nice date. I hope nothing bad happens. Come to think of it, Liev is acting more relaxed right now than he usually does. He's usually so prim and proper, even with his approachable demeanor. But I shrug it off as just him being different outside of school. Perhaps this was how he acted around his friends. Hey, Espoir. What you said earlier about getting new friends, I think I'll take that suggestion. So how about being my new best friend? Oh. I'm dumbfounded by his straightforwardness. What? Liev Latane, the most popular boy at school, wants me to be his best friend? A deep flush spreads across my cheeks. As if this week wasn't crazy enough already, in the span of a few days, I had gone from a nobody to becoming the first person in our senior year to date the head boy. Is that a yes? Yes. Yes, of course, but, Isn't it a little late to ask me to be your friend? I mean, we're literally on a date together, a romantic one. Stop teasing me, Espoir. What's with that look? Please. Don't provoke the great Liev Latane, or I might just have to tell on you. I snort as his ridiculous threat. Oh, dear me, please don't. Anything but that. Liev and I dissolve into another fit of laughter. The atmosphere is at last light once again, all worries temporarily forgotten. Hey, Espoir? Yeah? Thank you. For hearing me out. For listening to my problems. I really do appreciate it. While the sincerity in his voice is also appreciated, it causes all sorts of warm and fuzzy feelings to flutter about inside me. Liev reaches into his pocket to check his phone. It's almost lunchtime. Want to go and find something to eat? Yep, I'm starving. And so we leave the garden, with him, hopefully, a clearer mind, and me with a spring in my step. The restaurant we settled on was a quaint building that served Italian cuisine. When we stepped inside, the smell of freshly baked dough hits my nose, a wonderful aroma that made my stomach growl. Oops, pardon me. Liev merely smiles at my antics. The menu pretty much only has pizza and pasta options available, with a few yummy-looking dessert options. Hey, Espoir, what are you going to get? Good question. I have no idea. Just like me, huh? There's so many options. What do I want to get for the main? Pizza! Ooh. Oh, pepperoni. Pepperoni's my favorite. It's the classic, but I like it. I guess I'll get a pepperoni pizza. Sounds good. I'll get the same. I feel flattered that Liev is imitating me. Well, either that or he just happened to want the same thing that I did. Though there's still the issue of the price. I know I have money left over from this week's paycheck, but knowing how they like to gouge prices at places like this, I'll cover the bill. You don't have to worry. What? Don't worry about it. Honestly, I want to treat you. I know that he probably gets a hefty allowance from his parents, but I still feel bad taking advantage of my date like this. Well, I'll pay for the whole meal. I'll let him pay. He insisted, and, yeah. All right. Great. That seems to make him happy. I have 2 affection points! As we place the order, guilt begins to settle in the pit of my stomach. I hadn't wanted to make Liev take care of everything, but he had insisted that it was all right, so I accepted the offer. Though he seems to glow as we finish ordering and wait for someone to show us to our seats. It doesn't seem like the idea of paying for everything bothered him at all. Yeah, it seemed like I might have offended him if I tried to pay myself. He catches my worried gaze and flashes me a reassuring smile. A waiter soon ushers us to a table right by the windows. It gives us a nice view of outside, even if the crowded attractions and rides aren't exactly poetry material. Aw, dang, you know what? I could have got the pasta and then we could have did the Lady and the Tramp thing. We sit there in silence for a little while. Oh. I think of Liev's forlorn expression from earlier, when he'd poured out his feelings for what was probably the first time in a while. Maybe he still has those troubles on his mind. He hasn't tried to make small talk since we ordered our food. Gah, maybe I shouldn't have accepted his offer. I probably look like a gold digger at this point. I can't let him wallow in those thoughts. I have to distract him somehow. With those thoughts in mind, I open my mouth to speak. Hey, are you feeling any better? A non-response. He must still be a little hung up on the earlier topic. I try to come up with something to say that'll distract him, something nice and hopeful. So, what are your plans after graduation? That's probably the most stressful thing you can ask someone in school. People were usually eager to talk about post-graduation plans, right? It was the point at which they weren't obligated to follow a set path anymore. Some talked about going to their dream uni, others of taking paid apprenticeships, others of taking a gap year to travel overseas. But only when the words had left my lips did I realize that maybe Liev might be the exception. What if his parents' controlling nature extended beyond high school? What if I was only reminding him further of just how much pressure he was under? I wanted to take the words back and apologize for prying, but to my surprise, Liev actually answered. I'm going to attend university in Auckland? Auckland? Okay, Auckland. Good for you, that's nice. Nice. Are you going to stay in a hall? Yeah, I guess that'll be more convenient. Is that like a dorm? Sounds exciting. I'm really happy for you. I'm sure you'll do great. Despite the mild pang of loneliness I feel at the idea of him leaving, I do fully mean my words. Liev had worked hard for his future. If he wanted to leave our small town to pursue his passions, then who was I to stop him? I consider cracking a joke about how short-lived our relationship had been, but decide against it. I'm not going to throw a pity party over this. Thank you. What about you? What are your plans? There it was, the dreaded question. I play with my fingers as I try to come up with a decent answer. Ultimately, as with my joke idea, I decide against it. If Liev could trust me with his vulnerabilities, then surely I could trust him with mine. I sigh. I don't actually know yet, to be honest. I feel silly. I know we've had almost 3 years to think about it, but I just haven't decided yet. I know I want to do something that relates to helping people. I'm just not sure what exactly. And I can't ignore my anxiety either. If I can't somehow deal with it, I'm not sure how I'll be able to cope in the working world. Worst case scenario, I guess I'll just take a gap year and work. I can take more time to figure things out. I see. That's understandable. Not everyone is ready to decide what they want to do straight out of high school. Yeah, exactly. I wish people would stop expecting kids, literal kids, to know what they're going to do after high school. Because I sure didn't, and I kind of regret going to college at this point. Yeah, when I was being interviewed by the dean, she gave me a bunch of career ideas, but they all involved a ton of social interaction, like with patients, psychologists, psychiatrists, nurse, and so on. Must have been awkward. Yeah. So, yeah, as of yet, I'm not really sure. Maybe I need to look into my options a bit more. I'm sure that whatever decision you make will be the right choice. Though, not to sound biased, but if you end up going to Auckland, let me know, all right? We might see each other around. I will. That, at least, is a silver lining. Liev still wants to see me again one way or another. It's then that the waiter approaches our table and serves our appetizers and drinks, apologizing for the long wait. I hadn't even noticed the time passing by, but I'm also glad to finally have something to eat. We have a plate of, arancini?
Arancini.
To share between the two of us with a side of salad. Each ball has been sliced in half so that the filling is visible. Ooh, that sounds good. I take a piece and take a bite. Crunchy, cheesy, warm. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to stop recording so I can eat. I want to stay on my date. It hits all the right spots. The rest of the half quickly disappears. Is it that good? Let me try. This is delicious. Thanks for recommending it, Espoir. No prob. I have an aunt that brings these over sometimes. Her recipe's a bit different, but I love them too. I've been looking for a new recipe to learn, actually. Any chance I could steal it off her? Wait, you cook? Yeah, it's a little hobby of mine. Against my better judgment, I start imagining a situation where we're a couple living together in an apartment. Maybe somewhere in Auckland. One weekend morning I would wake up and head to the kitchen, still half asleep. Aww. And Liev would be at the stove, cooking breakfast for the both of us. I'd wrap my arms around him from behind, lean my head on his shoulder, and then he'd turn around to kiss me and say that breakfast will be ready soon. Aww. Espoir. Espoir. Espoir? Sorry, I was imagining that we were married. Sorry, were you saying something? I shake the fantasy out of my head. How ridiculous. For one, we would never be able to afford a place in Auckland. For two, we're on our first date. Why am I already imagining us living together? Nothing. You just look like you were spacing out. Are you okay? I'm fine. No need to worry. You were saying something about cooking being your hobby? Oh, yes. I find it relaxing and practical. I'm in the cooking club at school, though I don't usually have the time to go to meetings. But enough about me. What about you? What do you like to do outside of school? Here we go again. Man, I hate questions like this. All right, let's think. I guess I like... Though my voice sometimes shakes from nerves, I find it surprisingly easy to talk to Liev. He listens to everything I say, attentively, occasionally making insightful comments about the subjects I bring up. When I bring up the fact that I play piano, something flashes in his eyes, but he merely smiles and says that he thinks that it's a pretty instrument. It wouldn't surprise me if he was learning it. He just seems like a classy guy. When I finally finished rambling, Liev grins, amazed. I never knew you had so many cool interests. I can't believe we didn't go on a date sooner. Aww. Does he really think that highly of me? A flush threatens to burn up my cheeks again. Thank you. And sorry for talking about myself for so long. Don't apologize. I really like hearing you talk. Oh no. I do my best to hide just how much that small comment is affecting me. This is the first time someone at school has said that to me, and it's the head boy of all people. So what about you? What do you like to do in your free time? Oh, I'm nobody special. Come on, the head boy is nobody special? You've heard what pretty much all of senior year thinks about you, right? I've told you about myself. I want to know more about you, too. All right, ask me anything you want. Now's my chance. Do you want to get married? I'm picking all these. Do you have any siblings? You've talked about your parents before, but what about your siblings? Is something wrong? No, it's okay. I don't mind. I did have an older sister, but we're not exactly on talking terms at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry. She moved out of the house years ago. We haven't spoken since. Why did I even bring that up? Now I'm going to put him in a bad mood all over again. I feel even worse when I think about how his parents were treating him. It must be awful not to even have an older sibling to turn to. Aww. Liev's expression is unreadable, but I can tell that he's waiting for me to say something. Distract him? I've got a sibling too, a little brother. I wonder if Liev might find it insensitive for me to mention my own sibling just like that, but to my surprise he looks at me, curiously. Really? What year is he in? Year 9. Even if he can be a pain sometimes, it's kind of adorable to see him carrying around so many books, asking me for help with maths and stuff. You seem like a great big sister. Thank you. We have our ups and downs, but in the end I wouldn't trade him for anyone else. That's good. I'm glad that at least you and your brother are getting along well. That's good. I'm glad that at least you and your brother get along well. I hope that I've made him feel better, and not just given him a cruel reminder of what he doesn't have. Have you got any pets? Not at the moment, but I did have a cat when I was younger. What was their name? His full name was Cibulka? Cibulka? Oh, okay. His full name was Cibulka. Oh, it's Ukrainian for little onion. Oh. My mom always just called him Onion. She would speak English to him, and encourage me to do it too, since she said it would help me practice. The mental image of Kid Liev chatting to his cat might just make my heart melt. He was a good kitty, but the best thing about him was how good of a hunter he was. Huh? Seriously? Yep. It might sound weird, but at one point I thought of how useful he would be if disaster struck. He could hunt for food where it would be too dangerous for me to go. Aw. Honestly, it was impressive. Mice, frogs, birds, insects. One time he even brought home a half-dead rabbit. Not the most appetizing, but it would at least be a source of protein. Oh, he's doomsday planning. What a good kitty. Good kitty. He really was. So what about you, Espoir? No, we can't really afford to keep one at the moment. That's a shame, but if you could have one, what would you want? Turning the question around, eh? Come on, I'm curious. Fine, I'll indulge you. If I could have a pet, I would get... Yeah, I would get a cat. Isn't that right, Miss Daisy? She's sleeping. She's being a very good girl right now. Ah, a fellow cat person. Thanks. Maybe when I finish uni and find a decent place to live, I'll consider adopting one. Let me know if you do, okay? Of course. Where are you from? So, I hope this doesn't come off as weird, but I've heard rumors around school about you being from somewhere in Europe, that you're half so-and-so, etc. Is that true? Were you born in New Zealand? I was. Why is that even a topic at school? Sorry, you know how nosy people can be, and I guess I'm not helping by asking you. You don't have to share anything you don't want to. It's okay, I don't mind telling you. Thank you for being considerate, though. I was born and raised here, but my dad is French-American, and my mom is Russian. That's all there is to it. I don't see why people want to know about that stuff so badly. Yeah, sorry for asking such a personal question. I was really curious. No worries, I don't mind, if you're the one asking. Are you fluent in French or Russian? I guess. I speak to my parents mostly. Other than talking to exchange students, I don't really speak either often. That's really cool, though. I wish I had the time to learn another language. I'm barely even fluent in my own. Don't say that. You're a good speaker, Espoir. But if you want, I don't mind teaching you. Do you think that could be a fun idea for a date? Absolutely. Sounds great. Are you sure, though? I don't want to mess up your schedule. Of course. I'll always make time for you. How is Liev so good at saying things that make me feel warm inside? Your favorite fruit? Give it to me! Huh? I guess it's pepperoni pizza? Are you just saying that because that's what I ordered? You guess? He said exactly what I ordered for lunch. Speaking of which, it's taking an awfully long time. The waiter had already apologized for a delay earlier. What could have happened to cause another one? Yeah, where's that pie at? Sorry, it's not really something I've given much thought about. I just said that because it was the first thing that came to mind. Nah, I get it. Sorry as well. Those kinds of questions always put me on the spot. But I'm also really bad with asking questions. You don't need to apologize too. But yeah, those questions are deceptively simple, yet the moment you have to answer them, your brain just blanks. Yeah, pretty much. That's so weird. Exactly. It's kind of flattering that the first thing that came to his mind was something I liked too. Even if it might not be that deep. Why did you pick me, yo? It was a question I had on my mind ever since yesterday, and now I've asked him. Why'd the music stop? Why'd the music stop? Where's that pizza? My mind races with hundreds of possibilities, most of them nonsensical, some straight out of a teen romance novel. I mean, you did put a letter in his locker, so he didn't really pick you. I kind of initiated the dating. But none of them can even begin to ease the anxiety building up within me as the question is finally said out loud. Still, I want to know. I need to know. Espoir. Why do you even need to ask? It's obvious. You're kind and brave, empathetic and considerate. Why wouldn't I fall for you? That's not what I mean. But then again, he was really nice to us that one time. But then again, he was just doing his job. There's so many other people in our year who have their eyes on you, Liev. So many who are also kind, brave, considerate, empathetic, and actually have a presence at school. I'm just a random nobody who can barely hold a conversation without panicking. What I'm saying is, out of everyone else, why would you pick me? You want to know the truth, Espoir? Well, it's because I love you. Oh, wait a minute. Why did the music stop? And why did his eyes darken? Come on, Liev, we were having a lovely time. You're the only one for me. You always have been. Liev! Liev! No! We were having such a lovely time. No! Everyone else can burn in heck.